Welcome back to Tech Sheck, continuing the journey with many interesting stories from Pakistan, near Pakistan, and sometimes even outside of Pakistan. And today I have with us the founder of a very interesting animated series designed to help children learn more about astronomy. And guess what? It's done in Urdu. And with that, I'd like to welcome Mr. Saman Hameed. Salman, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Well, Salman, as you've seen, we tend not to waste a lot of time. We're going to jump right in. Tell us, what is Kainaat?
Well, Kainaat is the universe, but what I'm going to talk about is a small, tiny portion of it, Kainaat Studios, where we are creating videos. Not just for kids, we're creating videos for everybody, for general audience as well.
Okay.
In Urdu, that's the primary thing that we are trying to generate interest in science, generate curiosity, generate scientific thinking by using how we know what we know about the universe.
Very
and
cool.
so, and again, we use Urdu, so that brings up some sort of familiarity. I know the irony because we are speaking in English here, but in those videos, we try to do that. So I'm trained as an astronomer. My PhD is in astronomy. I'm a professor at Hampshire College. And I myself got interested in astronomy through television because I watched Carl Sagan's Cosmos back in the 1980s, back in 1984.
Right.
So for me, I know that the television or moving images, even through a mediated medium, can impact. And so I try to go back and give talks, which I try to do on popular astronomy, popular science. But then a few years back, I started making videos in Urdu about cutting edge astronomy. It's not just about sort of like, but it is the type of thing that we would talk about here in the US or anywhere about, hey, James Webb Space Telescope is going to go up in space. What is it going to find? What do we know about the first galaxies, cosmology, exoplanets, so on and so forth? But in Urdu. So that was the genesis of Kainaat Studios. I made it into a sort of like, a platform where we have weekly videos, we have some live sessions also, but once a week there is a video. And then a year back, because of the pandemic, Pakistan started teleschool, in which that was dedicated for sort of like basically educational videos for kids in Pakistan. Okay. And they were showing some of the videos that I had made. Those were not aimed at kids, but they were showing that because those were science videos or astronomy videos in Urdu. So I checked with them and said, would you be amenable, would you be open to if we create some content specifically for kids in Pakistan? Right. And so now we are creating a series of 10 astronomy videos that correlates with the Pakistani curriculum. Okay. And that has some animation with Desi animation. So we are trying to create sort of like, so sometimes people just borrow animations from Asian animations or American animations, but these are actually local Pakistani animator who's in Lahore. So they look like our thing. And there are two other hosts with me. The primary hosts, in fact, one is a wonderful science communicator who's in Lahore. And the other one, she is also fantastic. She actually runs another organization called Science Fuse. So we come together to create these things. So we have 5 episodes out, and we intend to do 5 more in the next few months.
Excellent, excellent. So out of curiosity, you did mention a little bit about your passion for astronomy and how that drove you to this. What do you feel is going to be the impact of this for those average Pakistani people who engage and watch these shows? What do you expect as an outcome?
That's a great question. Again, as I said, I want to distinguish because oftentimes people think, well, is it a course? no, you out of these videos, the ones that I create, you cannot think, hey, you have become a master in astronomy, or
Right.
that it's equivalent to an undergraduate course in astronomy. No.
Sure.
My goal is to convey the spirit of science, spirit of curiosity. And out of that, somebody may be inspired to get a degree in astronomy. That's wonderful, or a degree in sciences in general. But more importantly, uh, just to be interested in how the world works. Because, and in some ways, I mean, out of all of this, there is an embedded element of critical thinking. Today, the problem is not of information. There is a lot of information available. You can go and Google or whatever, like, you can find Wikipedia information out. The problem is, how do you evaluate good from bad information? And so by talking about how scientists, or like, astronomers figure out things, in some sense, there is an embedded tools that are in there, that how do you evaluate information? Nobody knows everything, but you still have to figure out what is the right information and what is the wrong information. So that is, I hope, that is the type of thinking, that the type of tools that people get, that it's not just about astronomy, it's not just about science, but in general, if you encounter things like about misinformation regarding coronavirus, how do you figure out where they can find the right information? So this is just a very practical example, but I think it's more about curiosity and a culture of thinking, culture of science.
Understood. And you're using the medium that you're comfortable with and what you're purveying, which is also very interesting these days. So basically आपका कहने का मकसद ये है कि हमारा अगला इलॉन मस्क जो है पाकिस्तान से ही आएगा ना?
Sure, but I have not have reservations about Elon Musk. So not Elon Musk, but I would say, क्योंकि I mean, Elon Musk की जो problems, and that is extreme, I think, capitalism gone amok, like, so I think
right.
I mean, I have ethical problems with Elon Musk. Magar, I would think more in terms of responsible exploration of space, responsible thinking about how do we create science on Earth. I mean, ज़मीन के ऊपर जो है, I mean, right now, I mean, बहुत बड़ा मसला जो है वो climate change का है. So how do we think about that, right? I mean, we have learned about this from learning about Venus and Mars and from other planets and so on and so forth. So I hope that we can generate a person who is curious, who have creativity, like, who is a disruptive force, but who's also ethically responsible.
Understood. No,
और उसकी वजह से Elon Musk जो है वो disqualify हो गया already.
That's probably a very long story, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in Pakistan, knowing how capitalistic we are, would disagree with you and say, "Nay, I want to make money." So that's a very interesting observation, nonetheless. But so with that, I mean, we, as diaspora, you being diaspora, we're trying to do our bit to kind of help, right? Whatever that vehicle is. And so I want to continue propagating this. And as you know, we try to keep these things relatively short and sweet. Your concept is very cool, makes a lot of sense. You're engaging the curiosity side of people in a medium that you've understood and been able to build knowledge around. What is the ask from the diaspora? How can we help you kind of continue to propagate this?
I think दो फैक्टर होते हैं. एक तो it's a very standard ask, like, in the sense के I mean, ये जो Kainaat Studios है, it's a 501c3 non-profit, so like, people can support that from that perspective. That is there. मगर I think जो थोड़ी सी different किस्म की ask है, वो just to spread the word, right? Sure. I mean, इस किस्म के videos पाकिस्तान के हिसाब से लोग used to नहीं होते. I mean, like, ऐसा कहते हैं कि education का courses that we are serving underprivileged schools, which is all necessary. I mean,
Sure.
in fact, I would say they are extremely crucial, right? Magar, when it comes to science, especially contemporary science, right? That is a category that sometimes gets missed. Like, okay, so what are we going to do about it? Why is it necessary, right? So this is a question that comes to me, that who is it for, right? Don't you want to dumb down the content?
Sure.
Maybe people in Pakistan will not understand what's going on currently in astronomy, in cosmology, or whatever. And my answer to that is no. I mean, it's for everybody, right? I mean, so that type of thing, to promote science from that perspective, that it's curiosity, it's critical thinking, it's those type of things. I would love for the diasporic community to engage in that, to promote that, and not just Kainaat Studios. I would say any endeavor that is really building on culture of curiosity. So that's what I would suggest. And I should also mention that apart from creating videos, we do have a program. We're just starting up. We're doing a pilot of creating astronomy clubs in Pakistan. So, like, give them sort of like, a telescope. So we're creating a kit, a starter kit. So that goes with the videos, that if they get interested, then you can have sort of like, about 50. Initially, we are thinking about, start pilot is with 2 schools, but then we're going to expand into about 50 schools, that, hey, maybe they can start up astronomy clubs in schools that, again, can bring kids into science and things like that. So from diasporic community, for me, the big thing is think about contemporary science as well. It is exciting and it's necessary. And that would be really cool if we start thinking in terms of basic sciences as well.
Very good. Well, great thought process and messaging here. And as you know, Salman, we're coming to the end of our time. And I really wanted to thank you for coming on the show, and hopefully we'll continue to help spread your messaging. I think it's a great effort, and it can never hurt to help people continue to expand their horizons of thinking. So with that, I thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much. And please check out the YouTube channel as well, which is Kainaat Astronomy in Urdu.
Awesome. Awesome. And to our audience, as you can see, plenty of interesting stories, lots of interesting people doing great things to continue supporting our ecosystem. And with that, please continue to like, share, and subscribe us. We're going to hit 100 episodes here pretty soon. So people out there, you know what? There's a lot of interesting people, and we want to keep telling their stories. And with that, I bid you Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.